it's time for the Young Avengers to assemble. Hey guys, welcome back to Comic Universe, the only nerd-centric thing you need in your life. And this is going to be our third episode of Dream Team. Now, if you don't know what that is, this is basically where Dubs and I make our own little fantasy league of certain superhero teams within the universe and using characters within that universe.
Right. So basically, if we were the writers and we were set, and Marvel goes, in this case Marvel, they go, hey, you're going to be writing
Young Avengers.
Who's on your team and what do you got going for us? And this is where we tell you guys what we would do.
Yeah. So, do you want to go first, Dubs?
I'll let you go first.
All right. So I guess I'll talk about the leader and the team, the idea for this formation of this version of the team. Something is going on with the Young Avengers. They're being hunted down by some organization or some force that's capturing them, and it's someone who knows about their background. So they're thinking like maybe it's Kang, maybe it's someone else like that. But Eli, who's been in retirement for a while as Patriot, puts on the costume again. He's like, no. I'm going to find out what happened to my friends, but in order to do that, I'm going to need some backup. So he gets together this new team. So as you can guess, Patriot is the leader. He's just, when you think Young Avengers, you think Eli, because even in the future, like most future timelines have him as the next Captain America.
True story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his grandfather was the Black Captain America. That was like the prototype for Steve Rogers.
That is true too. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's a great character. Can't hate on that. I mean, like you said, when you think of the leader of that team,
yeah,
he's definitely the first person that comes to mind. Obviously. All right, so I guess I'll go with my leader of my team. Just kind of keeping in the same patriotic vein, if you will. It's the real reason why, and I just kind of wanted to set some light on this character. I do like her a lot, and basically Miss America, powerhouse in her own right. And in my storyline, not to steal too many of his ideas over here, I kind of like the idea of young teenage heroes being hunted. Mine would be just a little more narrowed down, and what I mean by that is there's a teenage villain hunting other teenage heroes to prove that she's the superior one. And with the keywords of hunted and she, I think you guys may know who I'm talking about. Basically, she would be going around and
pulling a predator on everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So taking them out left and right, either that or just kidnapping them, and she's just going to prove her superiority over all other teenage heroes.
And prove that she's worthy to her father.
Her father, who is the best hunter in the Marvel Universe, right?
It's Anya Kravinoff, guys. I already knew, I put two and two together,
Right. So she would be going around, and since it popped in my head to be a she, and I liked his idea of someone hunting the team, I was like, well, I kind of want my leader to be a girl, because it would obviously come down to those two if you're writing it. And I think this would be an interesting way to kind of go about it. Clearly, she outmatches her, but her skill in hunting is actually, in a lot of ways, more superior than even her father. And so she's not someone to take lightly.
Yeah. So would it be that she brings this Young Avengers team in order to like they're trying to safety in numbers?
More so, these are the last few that they could find.
So now it's like, hey.
Who's left? She's been doing this for a while. No one has been able to catch on to what's going on. Let's get these guys. So whoever is the survivor who's left, and maybe not necessarily she's killed them all again.
She's like trapped them.
She can trap them all, and maybe she's going to kill them all in one final swoop. She just wants to put it all in their faces that she is more superior than her dad, and more superior than her people in her own bracket, age group, if you will. And once she does that, she'll try to kill them all. So these are the guys she just hasn't gotten around to getting yet, and Miss America kind of puts the team together and is like, time for us to go on the hunt.
Yeah,
we got to hunt the hunter.
So yeah, I like that. So I guess back to me.
Yeah.
My next one is Miss Marvel. Kamala Khan. I mean, yeah, she's a popular character, but yeah, And honestly, rather than Champions, why wasn't it just called Young Avengers? I'm just saying.
I mean, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah,
I mean, it became bad, but the idea, I think, in concept was okay.
Yeah.
I was feeling that at first.
Regardless, I love Kamala and Miles and all them, but
Go ahead.
Kamala is such a great character. She's fun, and her powers are really interesting. And I think she'd be like the heart of this team, like the one to really calm down everyone else when it's starting to really hit the fan. And I think she'd be like a great second in command. Like she would be there to help out with Eli, reining these new guys while he's looking for his team. And he'd probably be like, "Yeah, you were an Avenger. You're a champion. I kind of need your help."
Yeah,
and Kamala,
and she's fantastic. And anyone who knows anything about comics realizes that she's an amazingly written, flushed out character, and as realistic as comic books can get. I mean, she deals with realistic issues, kind of like Peter. She's one of the only ones in day-to-day life that seems to constantly have to deal with struggles of school and her parents and her religion and a job and kind of again like Peter Parker, obviously. So I mean, I really admire her in that regard, that she's kind of flushed out and someone young girls and even boys can kind of see themselves in, if you will.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 2, another powerhouse of the group, and just kind of replacing Hulkling is kind of what I was thinking, and when I picked her, is Lyra. She's pretty much a Hulk. You know?
For those who aren't aware, she is the daughter of Hulk and this woman called Thundra.
Yeah. So basically, she's super powered, super strong, can get pretty aggressive, and she kind of would be like the sex appeal to the group as well, I guess. She's kind of would be not liking the fact that everyone's being hunted, and she wants to prove that she's the superior one, and America would come to her, and and there's another reason why she's kind of on this list, because there's another person on this list that I would like to see kind of a family feud, if you will, continue, but in a different way, maybe. And I could easily replace that person with another person, if you know.
I'm surprised you didn't pick Scar.
I'm running off of like 3 hours of sleep today, because again,
Infinity War
just had me so emotionally bound. I just couldn't go to sleep last night. So I went to bed like at 5 and got up at like 8. So 5:30 actually. I got up at 8, and I just was dragging my butt all morning. So
yeah.
All right, so your turn. Moving on. 3.
My next one comes from the Runaways, Victor Mancha. He would be the major strong arm of this team. He's the son of Ultron, basically. Dude's a powerhouse. He's really intelligent. And I think Eli would go to him saying, "Hey, I really need someone who's just technically sound, but at the same time, I don't trust you. You're Ultron's son." And then apparently, according to Wanda, in a future timeline, in a possible timeline, you kill the future.
Yeah, so maybe I should keep you under watchful eye. Sometimes it's keep your enemies closer, type of thing. Your friends close, but your enemies closer. This could be one of those things. You keep him on your side. At least you're dealing with the monster head on, if you will. So that's a pretty good pick. I dig it.
Yeah.
Mine is going to be Reptile. All around, I'm surprised this character hasn't taken off to be more popular. Than he is. He has like everything needed to be like top 5 coolest characters in Marvel, if you will.
And he was really cool in Avengers Academy.
Yeah, he was. Avengers Academy was cool. Even in the crappy
Superhero Squad.
Yeah, Superhero Squad. He was kind of one of the shining points to that weird, wonky show, if you will. Definitely better than Silver Surfer, which was, in my opinion, one of the worst parts of that show. Because he was a surfer dude, which was dumb. But anyway, Reptile, I mean, the ability to morph parts of his body into dinosaurs. And who doesn't? I mean, clearly with how popular Jurassic World has continued on the legacy of Jurassic Park, and even like all the kaiju beasts that we're getting.
Yeah. Why isn't he? But I think he got killed off in Avengers Arena.
Yeah, I mean, get it. But if he was as popular as you would think this character should be, he wouldn't have been killed off. And if he was, he would have been brought back by now. But that would definitely be. He would be on my team, and he would be kind of the free spirit, and
he would definitely be hitting on Lyra.
Yeah, and he would be the free spirit hitting on Lyra. He would also
He'd be like the Michelangelo.
right, exactly. He would also be the one who's probably been the most affected out of everybody in my group, because key people he has teamed up with and idolized and befriended have already turned up missing more so than some of these other characters. So he would really, he would be one of the first people. Hey, I'm with you. Let's get this done. I got to find my friends. I got to find out what happened to them or avenge them, if you will.
Yeah.
And he's freaking awesome. I just don't get it. He should be like
More
he should be right up there with like Robin and Miles. He's freaking an awesome teenage superhero. I don't get it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess moving on for you, number 4.
My number 4 is Dust from the X-Men. She'd probably be the oldest member of the team.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah. I don't understand why she's not used more.
And it would be an interesting dynamic between her and...
I was about to get, one of the major reasons of why I would have Miss Marvel and Dust on the same team is because they're so vastly different from one another.
No sponsorship, sorry. I need some energy. Sorry. Okay, continue.
Anyway.
They're not paying me to advertise, so I'm not doing it yet, so I'm just saying.
Anyway, so... I'd love to have this. They're so vastly different, but so, kind of the same. I mean, first off, Miss Marvel's an Inhuman, Dust is a mutant. There was bad blood there,
right?
But they're both Muslim. They're both of
but I was going.
Yeah, but the main thing is that Kamala is like a very free spirited, she does have the values,
right.
but
she is more Americanized.
She's more of the American. Whereas Sugaya, the Dust. She's very traditionalist, and I'd love to see it's kind of like a culture
garment and everything. Yeah,
yeah, it's more like a culture clash between the two.
Yeah, I mean, again, my best friend is a Muslim. He's Egyptian, and his mom is more very, very traditional. And his sisters and himself kind of grew up American, so I could definitely understand where you're coming from. And it's a very interesting thing to see an Americanized version of that culture. Trust me, just being from the outside looking in, and my absolute best friend, the struggles that he himself just deal with on what he wants to be and how he wants, from Christmas to the clothes they wear, everything is in question for these guys. And it's gonna be even more in question when you're dealing with someone who is fully engulfed in that situation, or that religion.
Yeah, and again, she's Inhuman, the other's mutant,
right.
And there's bad blood there, and it would also it would be like a culture clash between the two. But I don't think it would get hostile. But I feel like it would just be kind of well, yeah, I'm just you call it forward thinking, but this is how it's been for our people for years, and Kamala, I don't think she would see it that way, and it would just be a fun dynamic between the two.
I think it would be. I think what would happen.
A neat dynamic.
Right.
Yeah. Can't talk. I'm tired too.
It's rubbing off. I get it. But no, I think what would be really cool is I think how it would. Again, you're the one writing it, so the way I would foresee it, it would be kind of cool. Is I think that each one of them would take something from the other. They would. I think they would find themselves in a common ground. They would realize that the more different they are, the more the same they are. They're strong-willed female protagonists, obviously. They very powerful, both of them, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
so
Dust can turn herself into a giant sandstorm.
Yeah, and literally kill you from the inside out, or just shred you to pieces, blowing through the wind. Okay, so. Suffocate you or rip you to shreds.
There's even a future timeline where she wiped out half the X-Men.
Right, exactly. So she's I think, and there's the capability of her being probably as equally as powerful as Sandman, to some degree. So that's and then Kamala is just amazing in her own right. Her stretching ability and expanding ability. I don't know if we've ever seen her limits yet, so there could be an unseen. She could be the Plastic Man of our universe, and we don't even know it yet. Which that'd be kind of cool, to be honest with you. It turns out she's Omega level Inhuman. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know what they call their most powerful, but that would be kind of interesting. All right, so I guess moving on for me, my number 4, which I'm throwing a curveball at him over here. Originally, I had Ricochet on there, but that's not who I want. He had mentioned somebody earlier, and I was like, how did I not remember this guy? And if I wanted to really, because I got a ragtag of guys for the most part, no one really has ever lived up to their popularity that they could have been. Maybe Miss America, she's kind of, because of her sit on the Ultimates, the new version of the Ultimates, she kind of had her time to shine. Everyone else on my list is either not known by anybody or just never really lived up to anything. So I would put Miles there. I would have, even though he's been an Avenger now, which I think was a mistake, I don't think he nor Kamala should.
This shit is Young Avengers is the
is the idea, Young Avengers, but he in Marvel has been an Avenger already, which I think was a mistake. Basically, I think he would realize that again the teenagers are in trouble. He needs to step up and be a leader, and I think he would be the co-captain, if you will, of this team, and he would do what he knew Peter would do, and he would step up. And not to mention that this is technically a Spider-Man villain, and why would you not have a Spider-Man on this team, if you will? And it would be so cool to see that generation, her finding a new foe in Miles. I think that would be a pretty cool
why can't she be his villain?
Right, exactly.
His Craven.
Exactly, and I think that would be kind of cool, and that's how and hopefully I would try to change the culture and make that a thing. I would try to make her, because that might be as cool as Miles is, especially now that he's in the 616. What's going to make or break him and compare him to Peter is he needs a rogues gallery. So it's time to start building that rogues gallery, because as we all know, a hero's only as good as their villain, right?
Yeah,
so,
he's just been piggybacking off of Peter.
Exactly, especially since the 616, and he deserves better. So let's make it happen.
And I know what you're saying, but Anya was a Peter Parker villain. She hadn't been doing much.
Right, and she is technically, but we would remove that. She would no longer be focused on the older Spider-Man.
It'd be like that Spider-Man is my father's prey. You know,
I already beat him. I already proved I could capture that guy.
But this new Spider-Man,
right? And he's kind of cute too.
Like you could even have it that she was saving Miles for last.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. She's like, and I was going to prove to my father that I can catch the spider.
Yeah.
And so Miles would be my number 4, and the co-captain. And if something happened to America, Miles. He would be stepping up and being the captain of this team.
All right. So my 5th member of my team would be Cloud9, which comes from the Avengers Initiative. And
she's awesome.
If you don't know who she is, she's a girl who her power is she can create clouds. But it's different from that. And she flies them like the flying Nimbus in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
But it's who trained her is the big thing. She was trained personally by Taskmaster.
Which right off the bat makes you a formidable combatant and foe.
And she's an excellent sharpshooter. She actually has one of the biggest scroll kill counts.
Right. And she can also kind of create though she creates clouds, but she can use it as a mist almost as well too. So she could actually
create cover and then it starts picking people off.
Exactly. It's like she could literally be standing right next to you, and the fog would and the cloud would be so thick you wouldn't even know she's there, and she could take you out. Plus, she looks like a fighter pilot. That's freaking awesome. I'm going to leave, places where you can check out all these characters down below in the comment section. So, guys, if you've never seen this character, broaden your horizons. Read up on her, find out about her, and maybe, let's help the popularity of these characters. Because some of these characters don't get no love. I mean, I understand the Spider-Mans, the Iron Mans, Captain Americas. They're always going to be there. But maybe it's not about having to throw all these new diverse characters in, because there's a whole group of characters that.
And half of them you killed. You could just bring them back.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but Cloud9, I'm totally on board with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you stole that one from me. I was already thinking that one. So my number 5 is probably someone you've never heard of. Okay, but he's actually kind of cool, and I picked up on him not too long ago. And I was reading up about him, and his name is Blocks. Essentially, he's a child of Wakanda. He is a brilliant mind, and his ability is to absorb kinetic energy and bring it back out. So basically, everything you saw in the movie with the adamantium, the vibranium suit, how it releases the kinetic energy, he can just do that
with his skin.
With his skin, essentially.
Yeah.
And he's I don't want to say he's a powerhouse, but he's a pretty big, muscular guy. So he's naturally strong. Not like in the same realm of Lyra or anything like that. But, and he's, like all Wakandans, he's fit as a fiddle, brilliant mind. And he's kind of a philosopher in life as well. So he would kind of be maybe the moral compass of the group, if you will, or the man of reason. Maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe we should do about it this way. He's a tactical thinker as well. And I just like his powers. It's kind of cool, and it's not every day you get to see that power portrayed so well. If your name isn't Bishop, really, to be honest with you, that's what's his name? Kevin Bacon's character does it too.
Sebastian
Shaw. Exactly. So there are probably the only two that I can think of off the top of my head that absorb kinetic energy and throw it back out. Gambit kind of, I guess, but anyway, his is a little different. So that's my number 5.
Yeah. So my final member of my team is Alex and his Sentinel, which comes from the comic Sentinel. It was pretty much Iron Giant for Marvel.
Right. Exactly.
And he's a brilliant, intelligent mind. He's a great engineer, and I think he'd be like the brains behind the team. But I think Dustin, everyone, even the rest of the team would be like, "That's a Sentinel, the thing that wipes out people." So,
right, and if there needs to be like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like not espionage, but like a black ops mission where you got to be real quiet, sneak. It's gonna be kind of hard with a big old Sentinel, but
plus every 10 minutes he goes, "Destroy all mutants." He's like, "God damn it,
shut up." No, he's more like Groot. Every time he says that, he means something different.
I swear. It's actually like there's a heartbreak there's an AVX tie-in in Avengers Academy that's really heartbreaking with the Sentinel, where everyone in the Academy is fighting Phoenix Emma to stop her from killing the Sentinel. And it's a neat story with her at X-23. So I thought this. So it's that was one of the things I wanted to have. I wanted to have Sentinel on here.
Pretty cool. I mean, and I say this word a lot lately, but Sentinels are powerhouses. I mean, they're pretty awesome. How can you not love?
Yeah, like if they're facing whatever threat has captured all these young heroes, boom! Just the Sentinel just rips the roof off and just goes brrr.
Exactly. Like here comes when all hope is lost, whoosh, and then the bad guy whoever you have hunting the group, if you have it's like a team thing, it's like, oh, we didn't count on the giant robot. So that would be pretty awesome. And again, it's one of those characters where you could also have some real emotion behind it. And, if he's...
Because again, it's supposed to be based off of Iron Giant.
Right, if he dies or gets sacrificed or injured. Plus, he's, in lack of a better term, he's also a disposable character where he can be disposed of and still find a way to bring back. Yeah. Without, because comics, he's easily just reprogrammed, bring it back, So it's something that can be done, realistically, logically. All right, so my number 6 can go to one of two people, but I decided on James Hudson Jr. So basically the ultimate Wolverine's biological son, basically. Blonde hair and blades, if you will. Again, another character I thought was really going to take off. When they introduced him, I ran to the comic book store to get the number 1 issue. I was like, this kid's it's Wolverine's son. How can it not? And
there's still a chance for him.
Oh yeah, of course, especially now that he's in the 616.
And he's in on an X-Men team.
That too. And as of now, has not lived up to the potential. So this would be me trying to have him live up to his potential. Especially since Dakin, however you want to say his name, he's a bastard. Let's just be honest. And I get why he's a bastard. He's a character that has some points. Wolverine is not... It's funny, as much of the Dad of the Year award he could win to some characters.
He doesn't.
No, and it's like, let's say the likes of Jubilee or Shadowcat, he could easily, even in the movies like Rogue, he could win the Dad of the Year from those guys. But his own kids, he doesn't, And I know that X-23 is not really his kid technically, but maybe he could even win the award of Best Dad through her, because he does a good enough job passing along. Yeah. But just to his own real biological son, not so much.
It's also funny because him and Dakin are going to be on the same team.
Which is going to be interesting. And again, when we're talking about though they are related, they're really not. But they really are. I mean, because technically, would it? I hope this is something that we cross. I hope this is a path that we cross in the comic, because in their comic, and we're talking real life now, because though they are not the same Wolverine, they're just different universes. So there's a chance that the blood may still be the same.
Yeah.
So technically, when we decipher if someone is you're related to you, it's by blood, right? So there's a chance they could have the same blood relative, but we're talking two different versions.
So could they look at each other as brothers?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a different way. I mean, obviously, animosity is going to start between them. It just has to. It writes itself. But I think what's going to happen is at the end of the day, these two are probably going to find themselves maybe like the best of friends.
Yeah.
Or at least maybe somewhere in the realm of the respect Cyclops and Wolverine have for each other at the very least. So it'll be interesting to play out. But for me, another reason why he's on this team is earlier I had mentioned that would be really cool to have a family feud continue. And with Lyra on the team, I would have it to where she just has a disdain and a weariness about her to anything
with claws.
Yeah, claws and Wolverine based. As interesting as it could be also with X-23 in this role, I just went with James because he gets no play. And X-23, she's doing just fine for herself right now. She's a character that has lived up to some potential. So this would be my way of kind of getting him out there. And it'd be kind of cool. Maybe he has some affection towards her, and she's just like, I bash things with claws. I seen what you guys do to my dad. You know, I can't trust you feral beasts. Or maybe he doesn't, and maybe he's the same way. He goes, you know, I seen what a version of your dad did to my dad. He ripped my dad in half. You ain't getting a chance to do that to me, girl.
If anyone's going to be cut in half, it's you.
It's right, exactly. So it'd be really cool to kind of see that maybe pass on to another generation. That family feud, if you will. So yeah, that would be my number 6 and my final. And
yeah, that's
as much as I love Wolverine, how can I not have a Wolverine on the team?
Right. Yeah.
So that's our squad of Young Avengers, guys. Let us know, who you guys would put on your team if you were writing, and what kind of scenario you would be setting up for your Young Avengers to be taking on. Yeah. Do you want to steal DPZ's idea like I did and have some sort of a hunter hunting them? I give him full credit for that, but I was just so tired I didn't have any idea what else to do. So. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
And guys, don't forget to like and share, subscribe the video, click on the icon, the bell icon to be part of our notification squad. And guys, just check us out on our Facebook page. The conversation always continues over there as well. And
see you once more in the universe.